Hello, I'm John White. Karen Devine has night off tonight, live at 6. We are continuing to track some rainfall moving into the region. Tonight we have live First Alert team coverage and a cleanup at the Whitewater Preserve, how it makes a difference at that local attraction.
You're watching KESQ, the desert's news leader. This is News Channel 3, live at 6.
We have a big night of high school football coming up, and there is a chance rain could be a factor in some of those games tonight. We have First Alert team coverage on the possibility of rain moving into the valley from the remnants of Sergio. Lauren Coronado is live, keeping a close eye on conditions in the East Valley. And we begin right now with First Alert Chief Meteorologist Haley Clausen, who's been talking about this all week. Haley, a lot of people planning on being outdoors tonight for a little football. In fact, you would normally be out there on Friday night at the game.
That I would, but if I was out there, I couldn't stand in front of this map and point to the rain. So that's exactly what I am doing right now. What we're experiencing are just some very light showers across portions of the high desert. Extremely light rainfall that is currently making its way towards the northwest, towards Joshua Tree. This is not anything heavy. This is not a thunderstorm. There is no lightning involved. The bulk of this activity is not expected to arrive until late tonight, moving into early tomorrow morning with us for Saturday. So we will continue to see an increase in tropical moisture across Southern California again late tonight into tomorrow. But our first sign was the development of more clouds overhead. Our Toro Peak Skycam can't see a whole lot because we have clouds over the mountains. That is something that is going to be staying with us. However, all of this moisture will be gone by Sunday, thanks to Santa Ana winds. So talking about some of this tropical moisture, I'm going to be breaking it all down when you can really anticipate to see more activity on our radar and some rainfall estimates coming up in my complete First Alert forecast.
Well, Cineva, thank you, Haley. We are keeping a close eye on these conditions outside. News Channel 3's Lauren Coronado live in Thermal after talking with some people about the chance for rain. Lauren, doesn't take much for people to get excited about a little chance of rain.
Yeah, John, absolutely. A lot of people really looking forward to the rain. One man even told me, even if it's in the middle of the night, he's going to go outside and play in the rain, he said. So we're going to go ahead and show you guys what the clouds are looking like right now. We did kind of notice that they are shifting a little bit more west, like Haley was saying, towards the Joshua Tree area, also making for a really beautiful sunset. We're getting a lot of really pretty colors out here. Now, according to the First Alert weather team, we're seeing below average amounts of rainfall for this time of year compared to previous years. Last year was an above average year for rainfall. We hit 7 inches of measurable rain last year in Palm Springs out in the west end compared to only 2.8 inches this year. Now out on the east end where I'm at now, we've only seen half an inch of rainfall since the beginning of the year. And folks in the valley say it's time we get more rain.
I don't think it's going to rain. We probably need the rain, but I don't think it's going to happen.
I kind of don't like the rain because it's like it makes it more humid, but I think we need the rain because, like, you know, it's like dry out here.
It sure is. And if we do get rain tonight, we're only looking at about a 1/4 inch to half an inch of measurable rainfall, again, according to our First Alert team. So if you plan on driving late into the night, just be cautious. We don't get rain often and the roads get slick really fast. Now, AAA does say the most dangerous times to drive in the rain are the first 10 minutes. So stay safe out there. The roads do get slick. Of course, we'll have another report tonight at 11. Reporting live in Thermal, Lauren Coronado, News Channel 3.
Thank you, Lauren. And stay with News Channel 3 on the air and online at KESQ.com for the latest weather updates and forecasts anytime. You can find constant weather information with our First Alert weather app. It's available for free. Just search KESQ First Alert in the Apple Store or Google Play. Next time you visit a state park, you might want to take a close look at everything being left on the ground. Today, volunteers at the Whitewater Preserve cleaned up what they call micro trash. News Channel 3's Sarah Trott shows us the concept and how the community is helping to keep things clean.
Get it with your grabber.
A morning of doing good and family fun.
Put it in the bag.
There we go. Nice. Thumbs up.
Volunteers suited up in plastic gloves and picker-uppers to tackle trash at the Whitewater Preserve.
We're going to clean up trash in our picnic area, along the trail system, and then along the riverbed.
Sometimes it's pretty dirty, and then today we're just cleaning it up. Plastic bottles and cans.
You know, I found a battery, a zipper, a balloon, a Home Depot flag, trash.
Recently retired nurse Alan Jo Fisk says her new pastime is volunteering.
I just wanted to get out and do something.
Something good for both the campers and the creatures.
But also for the wildlife that lives here, for the trees that call this place home, for the river that flows through this canyon. That's really what we're trying to do today.
What comes to mind when you think of litter? Probably empty water bottles or chip bags, but the focus today is actually on the littler things, like this straw and this plastic water cap, known as micro trash, which is just as problematic.
I expected we were going to be doing some heavy cleaning up, but I mean, it's really very little.
Tiny pieces that play a larger role in impacting the park's ecosystem. Another reason, come 2019, straws are set to be extinct, not the wildlife, because even the smallest pieces of plastic can harm this habitat.
We have raccoons, bobcats, mountain lions, squirrels, anything basically wild that lives in the desert.
Why is it important to keep this park clean?
Because the animals can eat it and they can get really sick and die.
A concept kids can understand, and so should all campers.
Just do your part. 5 pieces of trash a day on a hike makes a difference.
Considering there are no trash cans, the best policy and only policy is if you pack it in, you pack it out.
My family has taught me from a very early age to leave the place cleaner than what you found it.
Reporting in Whitewater, Sarah Trott, News Channel 3.
Continuing coverage tonight on the scandal at City Hall. Next on News Channel 3, see what happened in court today in the corruption case against former Palm Springs Mayor Steve Pugnet and 2 developers. Plus, Sheriff Department Lieutenant Chad Bianco running for Riverside County Sheriff. We sit down with him live in studio tonight to talk about the campaign. And later in sports, it's rivalry week on the football field. And what do you know? There's Blake and Cody.
Yeah, John, we got a big one tonight, the 24th flag game between La Quinta and Palm Desert. Cody, oh man, cannot wait for this one. Should be a great football game.
Yeah, administrators are telling us about 5,000 people standing room only. We're going to have to wait and see, but we do know a good football game is coming up here on KESQ, the Desert's news leader.
New development site on the corruption scandal at Palm Springs. City Hall lawyers for former Palm Springs Mayor Steve Pugnet and developers John Westman and Richard Meany appeared in court in Indio today. The defendants were not there. They announced a new discovery of 150,000 pages of evidence seized from City Hall by a federal task force in 2015. And they asked for more time to review those documents. The judge ordered them back to court on December 14th.
On December 14th, we're going to have a better idea of how much we've gone through, how much is relevant, and how much we want to fight about. And then at some point, we'll probably be picking a preliminary hearing to start the real guts and the meat of this case.
Westman, Meany, and Pugnet are all facing bribery and perjury charges in connection with the downtown redevelopment project, including the new Kimpton Hotel, which was completed after the scandal broke. They all pleaded not guilty last October. Experts say 1 in 4 men will be sexually abused before they're 18, and most men will never come forward to talk about that abuse. Today, the 10th annual It Happens to Boys conference was held in Indio. Several survivors of sexual abuse spoke at the conference, explaining why few men come forward to talk about their experiences.
I held those secrets and the abuse that my dad had done, and those pieces that trauma affected me through my sexual abuse. I held those pieces for a long time. Growing up, I think most men, we don't tell our secrets, we don't tell our family secrets. You have to man up, and you don't share those pieces. You can't be emotionally available.
Experts say that many male survivors turn to violence, aggression, or addiction if the abuse is not addressed. Continuing coverage tonight on Your Vote 2018. Next on News Channel 3, we sit down live in studio with Sheriff's Department Lieutenant Chad Bianco, who's running for Riverside County Sheriff.
The clouds we're seeing overhead, the first sign of tropical moisture right here in Southern California. We've been tracking Tropical Storm Sergio. Well, it made landfall this morning, and as we head into tomorrow, really late tonight into overnight tomorrow, we're talking about rain all across Southern California. This moisture will not last long. We are going to be experiencing a big dry out thanks to Santa Ana winds beginning on Sunday. My complete first alert forecast coming up next. You're watching KESQ, the Desert's news leader.
Your Vote 2018, the Sheriff's Department Lieutenant Chad Bianco is running for Riverside County Sheriff, the top job in the upcoming November election, challenging his boss, Sheriff Stan Sniff. Thank you much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it. Your boss was here just a couple of days ago. So let's start with that. Whatever happens, whoever wins, isn't there going to be a rift that has to be healed within this department?
I'm sure there will be something. We talk about it all the time in the department, and the reality is, as long as the vote comes out how we hope it comes out and how the department wants it to come out, there won't be much to heal. The healing will happen that day.
Let's talk about some of these campaign ads. You and I talked about it quite a bit last week. I did an I-team investigation, talked with both candidates. We called it Sheriff Showdown. And some of these ads, they're very expensive. We're going to see some of those ads. There you go. This one has a lot of the rank and file saying that you are the guy to be sheriff, and they want you. And then, of course, on the other side, the sheriff has a spot in calling the campaign $1 million smear against him. Either way, we talked about this. It's an expensive race, over $2 million.
Yes.
And you got an additional $100,000 just this week from the Riverside Sheriff's Association. So the money is really big.
Well, the unfortunate part of an election is you can't have a successful campaign really without money, and that's what this really boiled down to. He's had 10 years to campaign, and that's all he does is fundraise 24/7. And so in order to combat that, the deputies had to, or willingly stand up and provide that financing for me so we could run a good campaign.
Talk about a debate. It's my understanding there was supposed to be a League of Women Voters forum last night, and it was canceled.
Well,
is that true?
That is completely not true. And it's another example of the misinformation and the dishonesty that comes from the sheriff and his camp. The reality of that is they asked a month ago for one date. They said, we're checking availability to see if you're available. And I said, no, unfortunately I have a fundraiser that night and I'm not available. And the reality of this entire campaign is, even during the primary, Chief Dave Brown and I sat multiple times at forums, debates, with an empty chair and a name tag in between us because he fails to show to all of these. And this particular one, they asked my availability, I was not available, and now he tells you that I failed to show at a scheduled debate.
Are you open to a face-to-face?
Of course I am. We've been trying to do this for all 2014 and all this election, and it's not going to happen.
Opening the county jail, and that's been an issue that we've talked about a lot here. I was able to tour where the jail stands now, and I guess it's going to be ready to go in just a couple of months, or somewhere around the beginning of the year. He says it would take maybe a few years to get fully operational, and you're saying that you would also phase it in, but it would be faster.
Right, you have to phase it in. I mean, it's impossible to just start fully staffed and fully filled with inmates. So there has to be a phase in, and what we have to do is work as fast as we can to do it. We built that jail to add additional bed space, so we're not getting the benefit of that $350 million if we're not working as fast as possible to staff it and fill it.
Wish we had way more than 3 minutes, but thank you much for coming in.
Sure. Thank you for having me.
And voters can find a lot more resources, by the way, online, KESQ.com. You can see my full I-team investigation Sheriff Showdown, sitting down with both the candidates on our website, KESQ.com. Keep it right here on News Channel 3 as well for continuing Your Vote 2018 coverage right on through Election Day.
Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Haley Clausen.
For the 7th day in a row, Palm Springs has recorded a high temperature in the 80s, below what is considered normal for this time of year. For today's date specifically, an average high would be 90. Yet we came in at 88. Our morning low still in the 60s. A nice cool start every day this week. Now, the reason for these mild fall conditions here in the desert has been thanks to a trough of low pressure. Now, over the course of this week, we've actually been looking at all of these arrows making more of a U shape right across the western half of the United States. But what has begun to evolve over the past couple of days is a little bit more of an outing, a jutting out down towards the southwest when you're looking at our setup. What this is an area of closed low pressure. Here it is. You see the red L on the map. Sergio made landfall earlier on this morning as a tropical storm along the Baja Peninsula. It is now just a remnant low traveling towards the northeast, but we're still dealing with a lot of moisture in the area. So what that red L is going to do is tap into that moisture that's down towards the south, pull it up towards us right here in Southern California. We're already seeing those clouds overhead, and as we head into late tonight and into tomorrow morning, we're going to be talking about widespread showers and even some thunderstorms developing across the Southland, our local mountains and the Coachella Valley included. Again, late tonight, overnight and into our Saturday is when we're looking to have the most active radar. All of this moisture, it's not going to be around for very long. As we make our way into late Saturday, more into Sunday, a Santa Ana wind event will begin to establish itself and dry us out drastically. Now, when we are talking rainfall amounts, note that the numbers you're seeing here are going to be on the higher end. That is going to be more equivalent to a thunderstorm passing through. For light showers, we could be seeing as little as 1/10 of an inch. But rain on the way for the desert right now, just some light showers across the high desert, beginning to see a little bit of development in the higher elevations. Again, late tonight into tomorrow, humidity going to be climbing, but not sticking around. A fire weather watch goes into effect for our mountains late Saturday, thanks to those gusty northeasterly Santa Ana winds that will last through Tuesday. Highs, of course, we're keeping them right there in the 80s. John?
Okay, gotta love those temperatures anyway. Thank you, Haley. Tonight on ABC and News Channel 3 at 8, an all-new episode of Fresh Off the Boat. It's Speechless at 8:30, at 9, Child Support, and don't miss Being Melania, the First Lady, at 10, breaking her silence. Then coming up all new on News Channel 3 at 11, well, we're going to keep an eye on the sky. Haley will have the very latest on the possibility of rain coming to the Coachella Valley. That's tonight at 11. Sports is next at 6. A lot of high school football. You're watching KESQ, the Desert's news leader.
This is the best local sports show with sports director Blake Arthur.
Blake Arthur here alongside Cody Krupp. We are live at our game of the week. And Cody, you can make an argument that this is the biggest game of the high school football season here in the Valley. 24th flag game. La Quinta and Palm Desert cannot wait for this one.
Yeah, it's already packing up. I talked to some vice principals on the way in. They're saying 5,000 people here. It's bragging rights on the line, the flag game. This is what it's all about.
The 2017 flag game is going to live on in the history books, and it was also seen throughout Southern California.
How about the Pac-12 resurgence?
That pass is picked off. Showed how exciting football can be here in the Valley when two rivals
6 foot 4
clash.
inches, uses that frame, stretches it across the goal line. An instant classic, Cody. They rush the field, just bananas. 24-17. Palm Desert wins it in triple overtime.
We grew up with these kids, so it's, now that we go to different schools, it means a bit more playing against your friends and stuff, and there's a flag at stake, so it means a bit more to everyone.
Something you have to see for yourself. That's just the main thing I told them, because it's just something different. You have to feel it, and you just have to be there in person.
We all know it's expected. We all know it's going to go down, so we're just waiting for the game to come up.
Despite different paths of getting here, they are both 2-0 to start the Desert Empire, the last two unbeatens. And for La Quinta, they are coming off one of their biggest wins in a very long time.
What I liked about it most was how they talked crap all year last year, so it's pretty good to get a win on our side and not worry about all the extra stuff that goes around.
That's been out since last week. We've been back to work, back to the board on Monday. We got back to the board. After that, Shadow that week was out, and we've been focused on this week all week, and we're ready to execute and get to business on Friday.
After I shook hands, it kind of already, as soon as that final whistle blew, really, the final bell went off, it was the big game, and I told the guys in the huddle, we got PD next week, and obviously it's the biggest game that we'll face all year.
Well, Palm Desert is rock solid in every facet, and they're in a real position to make a run at a CIF title. The future sports book at Agua Fantasy, Augustine, or Spa would probably make them the clear favorite.
All that matters is that they're 2-0 in league, so I told the team they're undefeated just like we are when it comes to the games that matter and the aspects for league championship.
But it is about doing it for the players that will never get this opportunity again.
Especially for the seniors, you want to leave, winning the flag, so we really want this.
The seniors, I want to give them the win this year, and I also want to carry it into next year and get the win next year too.
All right, Cody, so it should be a good one. Real quick, game picks. Who you got?
I'm going to go Palm Desert, maybe 10-point favorite. I think that's probably safe to say right now.
I think Palm Desert is a favorite. Everybody's got Palm Desert. They're at home. They're undefeated. But give me La Quinta. I'm going with the Blackhawks. They got nothing to lose. I'm going LQ. We'll have all the highlights, 11 o'clock. Best local sports show.
Okay, we'll see how it plays out. Thank you, guys. We'll see you back here tonight.